to this channel and you've never heard me talk about this subject, and if you've been here and you've heard this before, then this time around, you're probably going to be able to relate to it just a little bit, okay? And so, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the trap, yes, the trap of home ownership. Now, why do I believe home ownership is a trap? Because number one, I believe people are addicted or obsessed with owning homes. And the first thing I'll say about that is, when do you own the home? I believe there's no such thing as home ownership as long as you have property taxes. Because people are always going nuts in the comments about, hey, if ownership is better than renting. Well, you've been hoodwinked, because if you believe that there's a such thing as home ownership, you need to go back and look at the rules. Now, I'm not telling you that you should feel bad about having a house or a paid off mortgage. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just telling you that renting and buying is the same thing. Home ownership is a lie. There's no such thing. I'll prove it to you really quickly. If you got 10 seconds, I'll prove to you that there's no such thing as home ownership. Let's say you paid off your mortgage. Bam, no mortgage, no payments, no anything. Are you free and clear on the house? Oh, no. You actually pay these things called property taxes. Well, what is that? That's rent. I told you, rent and mortgage, no difference. You're going to rent the loan, or you're going to rent the home. Either way, it's rent. And so now you pay property taxes for the duration of the home. So as long as you pay property taxes, you rent the land from the state, from the city, from the county, from the parish. And as soon as you miss payments, then they're going to come and repossess the land. Guess what's built on the land? Your house. So they get control of your house as well, because it's on the land. The money's in the land, it's not in the house. Grant Cardone was right. Houses are made for banks. I was talking to some friends the other day and I said, I know a lot of wealthy people in my neighborhood. I've never heard them talk about buying houses. Never. I've heard them talk about refinancing houses to open a business or get another investment. But I have yet to hear them talk about saving up money to buy houses. So if you've heard different, let me know. But for me, I've never heard them talk about that. They just use houses to get equity and keep going. By the way, people are trapped in their houses today. I don't know if you know it, but there are a lot of people out there who regret buying houses. That's why I always say, you bad realtors, you're out there trying to sell these houses, and you know this is a terrible housing market. Now, there are some people who will bend over backwards to buy a house, do whatever they have to do. They just got to have a house. Okay, sell it to them. But for the average person, this is not a good time to be buying a house. Since 2022, it's probably, these past 3 years, probably been the worst time in our lifetimes that you could buy a house. So I tell people today, don't touch them. Don't touch them. Don't touch them. Treat them like toxic liabilities, which they are. Stay away from these homes. If you know someone who's trapped in a home, or you've been trapped in a home, just put the word yes in the comments. Just let me know. Help people on this channel know. If you have some type of experience with the home ownership in the past, or you know someone who's going through it with home ownership, let us know in the comments, because people don't believe what I say. I'm just a random guy on YouTube just running my mouth, talking about experiences I've been through. I bought a house in 2020. We were paying for the house with a job. It's the worst way you can buy a house, and I'm not even here to talk about that today. And go watch my other video to break that down, why that's a terrible idea. If your paycheck is your only source of income, and that's what you're going to use to pay for the mortgage, do not buy. It's a trap. And so I commented under a post, I believe it's on one of the social media platforms, and they were talking about housing crashes and houses being for sale, and it's a buyer's market. Realtors, we're on to you. We know you're behind these posts. You want people to buy, buy, buy. And I get it. It's what's best for you, but it's not what's best for them. So, and I have a lot of friends who are realtors, and they know how I feel. And smash the thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. And so, by the way, share this if you don't mind. Share this video and this channel. Hit subscribe. Welcome to the channel. I'm Shon-Jhon, aka the Middleman CEO. I appreciate you guys watching the channel. I teach people how to start a middleman business from their phone without leaving their house, without doing the work. You just match customers with service providers in your area, get paid every time you find a customer. You don't even have to talk to customers. It's fully automated. If that's something you want to learn how to do, put middleman in the comments, or go to middlemanceo.com to watch the free training and then get into the masterclass before the price goes up. So I commented, and because people were, I wish I could show you guys, because people were going nuts in the comments, you know, this, that, why it's a good idea, what's a great idea. So I got on there and I went in the opposite direction. And I said, I don't think so. I think, I said, if you buy a house, first I said, buying a house today is probably one of the worst things you can do financially if your paycheck is your only income source. And people were going nuts, and I know it was realtors probably mostly, or people who bought houses recently and defending their position. I get it. I get it. I ain't mad at you. We all defend, but because you did it doesn't make it true. It's not true because you believe it's true, right? But people were going nuts. There's a lot of people walking today. I'm about to get out and do some walking. That's why you guys need a middleman business, so you can do whatever you want to do during your day and still make money. Every time we book a customer, $150, $250 in my account. Don't have to leave the house. So, my homeboy, see a good friend of mine, so I'll catch up with him. But it's important that I share this with you. So I commented. I was like, buying a house right now is probably one of the worst things you could do financially just within the past 3 years. So don't get on here really quickly, because I know you will. I'm not talking about buying a house in the past. 10, 20, 30 years. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about if you bought a house within the past 3 years, I'm talking to you, because I believe that everything changed financially in 2020 during the pandemic. They printed money. We got inflation. Everything costs too much. There's an affordability crisis. They say inflation's gone down, but the prices haven't followed. Paychecks haven't followed. And so now you're being asked to do more with that little paycheck. And it's a struggle for most people today. So if you know it's a struggle to walk into the grocery store and spend $100, walk out with 2 bags of groceries, let me know in the comments. Smash the thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. Because even though we're blessed and we have access to money, and by the way, I grew up really poor, so my family and I having access to capital today is a blessing. And if you have it, it's a blessing. There's nothing wrong with having an abundance. You should have it. Having a lack is the problem. That's what people fail to talk to us about. Living in lack and accepting that, that's a problem. No, go for abundance. This world is full of abundance. There ain't anything we're short on. I don't care what they say. There's nothing we're short on. It's all there. And so I believe in living in abundance. You should have everything you need. I know there's going to be some ups and downs in life. I know, but ultimately at the end of the day, you should always have access to the things you need. And it starts in my mind. I just believe that. And so I want to see it materialize. And so I commented, I said, hey, somebody responded and they were like, no, you know, it's a great time to buy a house. You know, it's a buyer's market. Prices are going down. Listen, when things are overpriced as significantly as the housing market is, it doesn't even matter if the prices go down. It doesn't even matter. They have to bottom out, go down. No, get them back to the price they were pre-pandemic. Houses that were $400,000 now going for $750,000, $800,000. Oh, but it dropped 50,000 to 700. Still overpriced. Still overpriced. So get the prices back down to pre-pandemic. If you can do that, then sure, we can probably talk about a house. Well, I'm still not touching it if my paycheck's my only income source. I'm only buying a house if I have an asset that'll pay for the house. If I got to go to work to pay for the house, I'm not touching it, and you shouldn't either. And because, like I said, Grant Cardone was right. Houses were made for banks. They weren't made for people. It's just another way for the banks to sell you money. That's what it is. Because people go back and forth, and I'm gonna do a video about renting versus buying. I'm telling you, it's the same thing. There's a couple differences, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Just depends on what you want to accomplish. Most people live in homes 5, 6, 7 years anyway. So if you're going to live in a house 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, just rent that house. Rent it. What's going to gain equity? Oh, glad you said that. That brings me to my next point. So a young lady commented, and that's why I'm doing this video. She commented, I guess, while I was sleeping, and I woke up to the comment, and it says, "Hey, you're right." By the way, I don't get that a lot, so I appreciate that. She said, "Hey, you're right. I bought a house a couple of years ago," because I commented back. I said, if you bought, because somebody said, no, houses get equity. Yes, houses typically always get equity. Yes. But what they don't tell you is there's positive equity and there's negative equity. So I know people don't talk about the negative equity. Sure, houses get equity, but lately they haven't been getting positive equity unless you live in a really cool spot like up in Frisco, Texas, where they're building the I don't know, the Universal theme park. Sure, or if you're around there, and you got to have money to be around there anyway, you'll probably get equity. But for the majority, you're not going to see that. So I always say, listen, if you bought a house between 2022 and today, you overpaid for the house by far. You got a jacked up interest rate by far. You have no equity or negative equity, and nobody's going to buy your house. You know why the houses are on the market and the prices are dipping a little bit? Because nobody's buying the houses. So, case in point, here's how I know what I'm talking about. I bought a house in my neighborhood in 2020, when houses were cheap. This house was $300,000. Very affordable. In 2022, just 2 years later, we sold the same house for $700,000. Now, why did we sell that? Well, you answer that question. But one of the reasons, it was not worth $700,000. Here's how I know it wasn't. The person who bought it from us 3 years ago listed it for sale about 4 months ago. Do you know that house is still for sale today? No one has bought that house. They've dropped the price 3 times. Now they're under the price they paid for it. Negative equity. And the house still won't move. In fact, they took it off the market. The house still won't sell. Still won't sell. So you got to understand that there's positive equity, there's negative equity. So this young lady commented, and I said, hey, I appreciate your honesty. I hope everything works out for you. But she commented and she said, hey, you're right. I bought a house in 2022. We overpaid for it. I got a 7% interest rate. It's killing me. And she put some initials that meant basically screw my life. And she said, it's killing us. We overpaid. There's negative equity and we cannot sell it. Nobody wants to buy it. And I said, I commented back. I said, see, these are the things. I thank you for being honest, but these are the reasons I hope that I'm wrong. Seeing comments like this, hearing stories like this, make me wish that I was wrong. But I know I'm right. I know I'm right because I've been through it. And I've had the misfortune of buying a house with a paycheck. I know I'm right, again, because I've experienced it. But I don't want to be right in this case because it hurts a lot of families. People who are just trying to work hard, do good, take care of their families, give their families a good life. That's you and I. And then you find out what you thought was a good purchase, good idea, is flipping your life upside down. So if you want to buy a house, fine, go for it. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying I wouldn't buy a house unless I had a source of income from an asset. And for those who are new to the channel, just an asset is simply something, whatever it is, that puts money into your pocket whether you go to work or not. So an example of an asset would be a vending machine. Example of an asset would be having your car, putting it on Turo. Example of an asset would be a rental house that you own and rent out. An example of an asset would be a snow cone machine or something. An example of an asset would be a middleman business where you find customers and match them to other companies. So anyway, what's important is not how you do it. What's important is what you do, and that thing is to have an asset that pays for your liability. So quick example is if you own a middleman business like me, and let's say you do it part-time, you don't even work a lot in it, it's just a part-time thing, and it makes you $3,000 a month. Not a whole lot, not gonna make you rich. But let's say the house you want to get is $3,000 a month for the mortgage. Then even if you don't have a job, the mortgage for the house is paid through the business, the asset. So I hope that makes sense. Smash a thumbs up if it does. If you guys want to learn how to start your own middleman business, put the word middleman in the comments or email me at middlemanceo.info@gmail.com if you have any questions or if you want to get on a payment plan to get into the masterclass and learn how to build your business in 30 days. So I got a busy day today. I got to get off here. And but hit thumbs up and tell somebody else about the channel. But listen, just understand, don't let people walk you into these money traps. People are trapped in their homes. They cannot sell them. They cannot sell them. Buyers are like, I'm not touching that overpriced liability. I'm not touching those high interest rates. I'm not touching any of that. I'm not going to put $100,000 down on a house and then struggle. I'll take the $100,000, enjoy life, and you keep the house. That's just my thinking. I'll take the $100,000 and get into business and investments, and then I'll come back in 2 to 3 years and buy the house. That's just the way I think. You guys might be different. I think it's a terrible time to buy houses. I know there's a lot of realtors on here, but I think it's a terrible time to buy houses. If you are going to pay for the house with a paycheck, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it. If you understand that paying for a house with a paycheck is a terrible idea because the mortgage is 30 years, which means you need a paycheck for 30 years. Where do you get paychecks from? Jobs, which means you now need a job for 30 years. So if you're 30, 35 and you're buying a house, good luck. You're working to 60, 65. Let me ask you this. Where are these 30-year jobs that you're going to need? Have you seen any lately? No. AI, people on the other side of the world, systems, processes, they're all taking your jobs. In fact, your job doesn't even have to be replaced. Companies are just firing people. They're just firing people now. They're doing record profits and still cutting staff and sending you home. If you know what I'm talking about, if you've been let go or you know someone who's been let go recently, smash a thumbs up. Let me and comment. Let me know in the stories, in the comments. But people are getting smashed. People are getting slammed. People are not making money. It's a struggle out here. You see the cost of living has gone up exponentially. What has not gone up? Your paycheck. If you keep playing this game the same way you've been playing it, you're going to lose at the highest level. I don't want you to lose. That's why I do these videos. That's why I come on here. If you know that your paycheck is not keeping up with inflation or the cost of living, smash the thumbs up. Let me know. And if you're a new subscriber to the channel, let me know in the comments. I'll give you a shout out. All right, I've said enough. I've stated my case. I'll put it in the hands of the jury. You tell me. Is it a good time to buy a house? Based on everything I said, that was my argument. The houses are overpriced. Interest rates are way too high right now. There are no 30-year jobs. If your paycheck is your only source of income, I wouldn't touch a house. You never own a house. You rent the house the entire time. There's no such thing as ownership because you always pay property taxes. If you think you own the house, stop paying your property taxes and find out. If you agree with me, smash the thumbs up. If you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. But let me know in the comments if you guys agree or disagree. I've got to go. I got things I got to do today. I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Don't be stressed out by anything you see online, including videos like this. We're here to enjoy life. If you don't have a house in this life, you're not a failure. You're not a loser. Don't let people pressure you into going out and buying these houses. Enjoy your life. This life is short. You only get to live it one time. Please, please, please get the most out of it and set yourself up for eternity. That's where the real inheritance is. All right, I hope this blesses you. Let me know in the comments if you appreciate the channel. Smash thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Every time I drop new fire content, you'll be the first to know. I gotta go. Let me know, guys. Good time or not. I should do a poll on here. But let me know. And if you want to start a middleman business, you're like, hey, I need to know more about that because I know my job's not safe. Teach me how to do something else where I can spend time with my family and make money and control my own time. Then put the word middleman in the comments or go ahead and click the link in the video description below. See you guys on the next video. Peace. All right, guys. Have a blessed one.